This isn't clickbait. I actually considered not posting the biggest video I've ever made. In order to fully explain why I almost didn't post the Apple Wallpapers video, we kind of have to go from the start. So I thought this would be a good time to explain some behind the scenes footage and show you guys what happened during our trip. I came up with the idea for the Apple Wallpapers video in January of 2019, but it wasn't until April that we started planning the video when Jake and I contacted Taylor and explained our idea. Our plan would be to start in like LA maybe and do the Mojave, like start at the most recent and then work our way back. And I found the location where each of these are shot. And we want to make a video about it. And we thought you would be like the best guy to help make this happen.
That would be sick. Wait a second. Recreate every single one of those photos. That would be insane.
I could see like Gizmodo getting behind this.
Yep. Like, yeah, I can see like the headlines already. Group of friends travels around, like, yeah, California road trip.
You see, the Apple Wallpapers video was a culmination of months of work and preparation. Jake and I had set all of our deadlines from May until July, and at the end of that 3-month block was the Apple Wallpapers video.
Just taping up.
Put a shirt on, Jesus Christ.
We're taping up the next 3 months worth of video scheduling and just starting to realize how insane our lives are about to be if we stick to this schedule.
The idea was to experiment with various video styles to learn what worked and what didn't, while also building as big of an audience as possible before releasing our best video last. And as the date started getting closer, we started planning late into the evenings.
I know exactly, like I've Google Earthed all these places, so I kind of know where they all are, but this season is not going to quite match it, but the composition will.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference is the light and the season.
You know, here's one shot that I really want that's not going to be the easiest, is I want to get a shot of someone like just like hands working on a laptop, like typing something, and then you minimize the screen, and then you just see like Half Dome on the background of the computer, and then you fold the laptop down, and then it shows Half Dome right there. I think that's like the opening shot.
So as you can see, there's a lot of preparation going into this video, and my expectations for us were getting really high. Everything had to be perfect in my mind, which leads to why I almost didn't post the video. The trip to Death Valley was easily the hardest photo to capture. It's impossible to convey with video just how hot it was.
We're about to go to Death Valley. I'm kind of scared, especially for Jake, because he's so pasty white. I don't know if he's gonna make it, but if we die, at least we'll have this footage then for them when they recover our bodies.
I think the highest temperature we saw was 122 degrees Fahrenheit.
We hit 120! Why did Apple have to make it macOS Mojave? Why couldn't it have been macOS Disneyland? macOS Coldstone or something?
What you didn't get to see in the final cut of the video was our entire second day in Death Valley while we waited for the sun to set. After we failed to get the shot the first day, we woke up really early the following morning after getting no sleep because we were camping in 100-degree heat. And we ended up going to scout the dunes again. So you didn't get to see this, but we scouted the dunes 3 times looking for the correct place the photo was taken.
We got the mountain. Yes. We have to make sure that we're in a position where that step down is to the left of the big dune. So we have to actually hoof it way over there. Kind of, yeah.
Well, we're failures.
Hey, we'll be back here in 12 hours, 10 hours.
Go again. Okay, I was trying not to address this, but so many people commented to this that I feel like I have to say something. We received tons of comments saying, hey, you know sand dunes move, right? And yes, we understand that sand dunes move, but they don't move as much as you'd think. I've been to Death Valley over multiple years, and the general layout of Mesquite Dunes is the same. Like, you don't just show up to where the sand dunes were 2 years ago and all of a sudden they're all the way over there. Sand dunes are huge, and in order to move that much sand would take forever. And even when they're moving, it's usually more vertically than it is horizontally. Sorry, I just felt like I needed to address that because so many people were like, hey, you're an idiot. You're not gonna find the sand dune. We knew we wouldn't get the exact same photo that Apple took, but it was likely that we could find the same sand dune. We even made shirts because so many people commented about this. Here it is. We've made shirts that said, sand dunes move, to kind of just respond to all the haters. So we ended up spending an entire day cooking in Death Valley while we just waited for sunset.
I'm so angry right now. This place fucking sucks. You're gonna have to take my dead body and drag it off the dunes. I'm gonna die.
Most of our day was spent at this place called the Oasis, where we snuck into their pool and just loitered anywhere we could find to escape the heat.
Well, we gotta wait for it to get 116 degrees. And then we gotta wait for the light to get good. It's currently 100 degrees.
We're basically gonna torture ourselves for a third time in 24 hours.
Wow, this is what you need in Death Valley, man.
This is really the oasis. We're glamping over here.
After Death Valley, everything went surprisingly smooth, except for the fact that we almost missed the sunrise shot in the Sierras because we only had 2 hours of sleep, and we just happened to find the place where the photo was taken. We got really lucky there.
I love landscape photographers.
So, this is all my fault, by the way.
What happened?
I set the alarms for 4 p.m.
Oh,
How'd you wake up?
I just woke up naturally.
Wow.
It could have sounded like we were actually gonna like die, like there was an intruder in a tent or something.
Yeah, we both
you
got
guys
up.
need to get up now.
We both got up.
And also, there was one point where we were in the middle of nowhere and we thought we got a flat tire.
Oh no! Do we have a flat? I just hear the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sound like it's on the left side.
This back right tire, it goes hitting something. What? These are such street tires.
False alarm, I guess we don't have a flat. Damn it.
We just like being dramatic.
Damn it. That would have made the video better.
You
We would have been stranded
my car more.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
You're like, let's take Jacob's car on every road trip. Let's cook eggs on it. Oh, he's got a flat. Yeah, this is great for the video.
Now, in Yosemite is where everything went drastically wrong. And ironically, this happened when we were having the most fun on our trip. In Yosemite, we made the mistake of testing out new equipment on a shoot, when the correct thing to do would be to test it out beforehand in an office where it doesn't matter if any of the footage is messed up. This happened at the climax of our trip, the most important scenes in Yosemite where we were finding our resolution, so there was no way to reshoot these scenes. Basically, what went wrong in Yosemite is we had a monitor attached to a camera that was recording the footage. So instead of recording to the camera, all the footage was recording to the monitor so that we could shoot at a higher quality. But we ended up baking in all of the camera settings that you see on a camera when you're holding it. So all those settings you see right there around the camera was embedded into all the footage. This is what it ended up looking like. You literally couldn't put a price on that footage. I had planned this trip for months. We had 1 week to get the photos, and at the most important part of our trip, all of the footage was ruined. It was like 150 gigabytes of footage. And all it took to prevent this was to turn one switch from on to off. That was it. One switch ruined all of the footage. And if we had taken 5 minutes before our trip to test out the monitor, we would have seen the problem and prevented it. After we got back from our trip and I realized what happened, I shut down. I had a really negative attitude, and even when I was looking through all the other footage, I hated what I saw. So I no longer wanted to make the video. There was an incredible story in all of that footage, but I was unwilling to see it, all because of a bad attitude. All I could think was we didn't film enough, or we weren't fun enough on camera, and so for a month I was in a slump and I didn't work on the video at all. All of that right there?
Show them a list.
Oh,
That's like
this
on
is
the footage?
that's on all. That's burnt on all our footage. Like anything that was shot on the gimbal, that's burnt on our footage.
Fucking Jake every time.
Look at how sick this shot is.
Oh no. Zebra stripes right behind half.
And then you have the focus dots right there. Spent 6 months. Like this idea was 6 months ago, and it's led up to this. And we spent a week of time to do this trip, and like the whole payoff was like when we get to Yosemite, and now it's like I don't really know.
You
It's
have
like
it, but
200 gigs of footage
Yeah.
that is unusable. I don't know if this was planned. I was planning on making like another big video, like 15, 18 minutes, like boost it really big. And I'm like, should we just make like a 4-minute thing and just
I hate
slap
thinking
it
about
out there?
this. I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
The thing is, we couldn't reshoot those scenes. We were genuinely having so much fun in Yosemite because we were out of the desert heat and we were running around finding each of these wallpapers. So if we reshot anything, it wouldn't be authentic. So when I sat down at the end of August to finally work on the video, I was left with 3 options. I could not use any of the footage in Yosemite. I could add black bars or crop in on all the salvageable footage. Or we could just leave the footage as it was with all the camera settings burnt in. What I ended up doing was cropping in on all the footage that was still usable, which you could barely notice anything actually happened, except I think there are 2 clips in the video where you could see peaking lines, which basically is when something's too bright, and a couple people picked up on that, which is pretty impressive. So I think this is a great lesson in the creative process. Sometimes you need to wait for inspiration to strike, and in this case, it was my bad attitude that was getting in the way of me creating one of the best videos I've ever made. But there's one more thing about this that I haven't been entirely truthful about. It was actually Jake's idea to use this monitor after I had already said in the past that we shouldn't try out new equipment on a shoot. But I thought it was just an external monitor, like I didn't realize that it was recording to the monitor and not the camera. So it ended up actually all being Jake's fault. But that's okay, because mistakes happen, it all worked out in the end, and we made sure that Jake would never do it again. Alright, so every time we go on a trip, Jake f***s up and he loses some sort of footage, and we just went on a trip that took 6 months of planning, and Jake ruined 150 gigs of footage, so now we're gonna get a little payback. We need your help. Jake just posted on his Instagram story about how he lost our footage and said, I hate myself. Little does he know that we're all scheming right now to shoot him.
Oh, not only does he hate himself, he's gonna hate us a lot more here in a little bit.
We got the seats down right here. Big intervention sign. Jacob's gonna sit right over there. Andrew's gonna come out from there, hit him with the paintball gun. David's gonna hit him over there and knock him in the pool. Oh my God!
Hey Jake, I never asked you, how do you like your eggs?
Sunny side up.
Coming right up. Oh no. Oh no.
Here. Ew.